Hey there, guys. This is Malorian, and with me is...
10 Man Excel.
And we got Jank Tank. Now, we're going to call this episode 1. Maybe we should be doing a pilot. Did you ever do a pilot with Dice Raids Live?
Not really. We just jumped in it.
Just jump in. So that's what we're going to try doing here, too. But it's really going to be, hopefully, a show where we'll have some fun, talk about some fun stuff, and have some good laughs and some good drinks. But on your side there, Tin Man, do you want to do a quick little intro of who you are, how long you've been playing, what do you play, stuff like that?
Well, I play Signar, I play Mercenaries, I play Circle Orbros. I have Gators, but I haven't played with them yet because I kind of have to put them together to play with.
Yeah.
But I was kind of saving them for a journeyman league that I haven't had a chance to run yet. I've been playing War Machine since very early in 2006. I bought my first War Machine model very late 2005. I bought Alistair Kane and painted him up and said, man, this is awesome right here. But let's see here. A few milestones. 2008 became a press ganger because I had to, I just stepped up to the plate to get War Machine going again at a particular time and became a press ganger to do it. Also, 2008 started Steam Power TV. Now, 2007 I did some of my earlier videos there, but actually started Steam Power TV 2008. And Steam Power TV has kind of been in a malaise for the past year or two, but hopefully we can get that roaring back here. I just kind of need a meta to play in, or rebuild my old meta because my old meta fell apart a couple of years ago. Anyhow, as happens, the game stores close, relocate, and then relocate to a place where there's no table space,
Kind of problematic.
So a lot of the guys who used to play with the most are like, I packed my stuff away, and then other things got packed on top of it, so I got to find it again. Talked to one guy who got all happy, found his stuff, and then discovered it was crushed because literally he had his motor pool case. Mm-hmm. I'm sure y'all familiar, the Army transport motor pool case. No real protection in those things. They're just for transport. Yep. He has them in there. Apparently, boxes full of old books were stacked on top.
Oh, no.
Crushed the hell out of his models. So, yeah, he's down for the count. Guys were like, well, I have my army around here somewhere, but I found this. They got that one thing that they were painting before they drifted away from the hobby. So, yeah, that's the effect that a game store closing can have on a community if you're all about the game store where you met at. But
well, it's devastating if you ever have that, right? Because that's where you meet. And if that splinters off, you're in trouble.
So, like the old location, our very last War Machine night, 10-player tournament, plus 4 or 5 guys just hanging out and playing solo games because they either arrived too late for the tournament or they had to leave early. So they're like, well, I don't want to get into the tournament, play one round, and then bounce. So
that's fair enough.
That was like our last night there. Then we're like, yes, we're going to get the band back together. It's just me and Tom looking at, playing and getting our one game and then going home.
Well, it takes a while to build it back up, right? So
yeah, we've gone from me and Tom just showing up, playing our one game, going home to we have 2 every other week guys. Those every other week guys show up opposite weeks of each other.
So it doesn't really work out for the full gaming night.
So that's how it goes. But in terms of lately, I actually built a model again. I went a really long time without building a War Machine model, but I put Dynamo together.
Oh, nice.
And that is a sexy, sexy model, so I definitely got to get him primed and painted. But before I prime and paint him, I also plan on getting this guy together. I bought him when he first came out. Never got him together.
Now, have you opened it up? Have you already cleaned off all the mold lines and all the extra resin and stuff?
I did that. One of the arm pieces is all jacked up, so I may have to get a part replacement on it or fabricate some.
Yeah. Or I could make it like battle damage. I don't know.
It's just, it doesn't look like battle damage.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
bad resin. So some things would go, okay, I could call that battle damage, and some things like, no, that was a bad cast. It got past inspection. So
Hmm.
I got to contact front desk and be like, yeah, this piece is all jacked up. Can I get another one of these?
I've heard some really good things about that. Where when they had colossals, especially, I heard the worst one is the Retribution one, the Hyperion. That it really was bad for being warped. And when people would call in and try and get replacement pieces, they would just send them another colossal. So Private Press has been really good about it, from what I've heard.
That would be cool, but then I'll be like, well, I just wanted this one piece, guys. It's cool.
Yeah.
But my Wold Wrath has a bunch of missing pieces. And that's tough when it's missing pieces because it's like, what are these pieces called? They're missing. But like a lot of the tree trunks and stuff, they're supposed to go in them are missing. I end up getting the wrist on it. I end up getting an extra one. And the reason I got an extra one is because one of them was all jacked up. But it's like pieces that were resin that really should have been metal.
So what are you drinking there tonight there?
I like hard apple cider, so I'm drinking some Angry Orchard Sinful Apple. It's a seasonal flavor,
Hmm?
and it's a hard apple cider. It's got a crisp, clean taste that I like, and it's got a really pleasant cinnamon aftertaste.
Sounds
So
fancy.
it's like a subtle cinnamon taste, but it's like once you sipped it like this here, what
The form.
you get is really pleasant cinnamon aftertaste. It's really nice. Too bad it's seasonal. You know, it even says seasonal on the bottle here.
Yeah.
And I actually got it on clearance from Target. And I was like, I really like that stuff. And it's on clearance. Let me grab a case before I don't see it for another year.
So tonight for myself, I'm going with one of my favorite drinks. I love Sambuca, so that's my drink of choice. But what I love to do is I mix it with either like Fanta or orange pop. And then have you ever had like Tiger ice cream? It tastes like Tiger ice cream. So you got the licorice taste and the orange, and it is just delicious. But for my part, I've been playing for about 3 years, so nowhere close to as long as you have. Really bouncing between Legion, Mercenaries, Gators, Circle, and main one now is Signar. And I probably should be a press ganger, but I keep on jumping around so much between cities before that I never really had a chance to really apply. And now all the stores have press gangers, so it's kind of too late now. But I run my own tournaments. We have a pretty strong meta here. And yeah, hopefully we can start doing some Jank Tank and having some fun here.
Yeah, back when I first became a press ganger, I was literally the valley that I live in. I was the only press ganger in the valley.
Okay, yeah.
Between so and that's one thing I learned. It's like, wow. So there's like press gangers down in Los Angeles, and there are press gangers down up in the Bay Area and Sacramento area. I was the only one in the California Central Valley.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When I first became one, that was back in 2008.
So do you have
If I'm wrong on that, I'm sure someone will correct me. But what I was told at the time was like I was actually the only one in a certain area. So they're asking me to go to places, insisting that I was closer. And I'm going, wait, that's not close at all. That's quite a long ways, and I don't have the gas to get there. But yeah, like I think like they tried to get me to go to. I think like the I can't even remember where it was, but I looked at a map and it was like Los Angeles is right there, and then I saw what I had to drive through to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I got to drive over a mountain and through a national forest to get to a place that's right next to Los Angeles.
Oh, you have to kind of like go down around type thing?
Yeah, so I had to say, no, I can't make it there. I want to make it there, but I can't make it there. Plus, I was substitute teaching at the time, and that was very feast or famine sort of work. So one day you could be, 1 month you could just be getting work you could like work every day, and then the next month they hardly call you. So trip planning was difficult for that.
So up here in Canada, we usually talk about distance in terms of time. So, when I go to my tournament tomorrow, it's going to be about a 2-hour trip. So for these trips you're needing to make, like how long is it taking you to get to these places?
Because I live in California, I live in the Central Valley. So if I was to drive to Fresno, which is about 100 miles north of here, and a couple of really cool press gangers are up there,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, I'm going to go up there and play with those guys or play in their thing. That's about 2 hours.
Okay, yeah.
Then there's Los Angeles. It's actually closer to Bakersfield, but one, there's a big old mountain in the way. And two, there's the infamous LA traffic.
Oh, okay.
So I could be driving someplace that's geographically closer, but it takes me longer to get there.
Fair enough.
So time is relative.
It's true, yeah. So our next part here is really what we've been working on or what's going to be coming up, really. So you said about how you're going to be trying to build the storm wall and the dynamo. Do you have any events or anything coming up that you're looking forward to?
Not at this time. I'm just trying to rebuild my meta.
Mm.
So it's going to be like demos and journeyman leagues. If I get demos and then journeyman leagues when the demos pay off. And yeah, this some things are just up in the air. And then where I work, I mean, they could just up and change the schedule on me at any time.
So you were saying that you're saving one of your factions for a journeyman league. Do you think now would be the time to start that up to try and build up that meta?
Well, the thing is, it's like you got to have at least 4 people other than yourself to really get something going. I just got to the point that I have that, but those 4 people are experienced people. No, I got 3 people other than myself right now. I'm trying to get no, I have 4. It's just one guy that's he works a lot, so he doesn't know when he's gonna make it.
That's fair enough.
Like he showed up last night, but he didn't have his army with him. All he had time to was to show up and watch a game and bounce.
So for myself, my big thing is tomorrow I got GrotzCon. It's a 3-day convention. The first day is a doubles event. Oh, not a doubles event, a team event. 3 players per team. After that is the last chance qualifier on day 2. We got Tom Guan coming for that, so that's going to be scary.
All right.
And then the last day is going to be the Alberta War Machine Invitational. So it's going to be a crazy weekend of games, and I've been hyped up for this for a while. And I got kind of a rivalry kind of thing put together for this too. So it's starting to build up.
Yeah, I was looking forward to Kingdom Con, but got some money troubles that hit me unexpectedly, so I can't afford to go down there this year. I went last year, but I broke the bank doing it because, rental car, stay in a hotel, other gas, other expenses kind of had me in the poorhouse for a few months following. Difference between this year and last year is that this year I have to get my car smogged. Now, you might be thinking that's no big deal, but I live in California, and I drive a car that's old enough to drink.
Okay.
So to get my car up the code, that could be a lot of money I wasn't expecting to pay. It's just like a couple weeks back, what set me down this path was that simple trip to a place I go to have my car worked on for a tire rotation. Dude takes the measurements of the tread depth and the front tires and goes, yeah, the tread depth wore down too much. We have to replace these tires.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I was like, I ended up spending a lot more. And then they're like, okay, well, we need to do a front-end alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Then it became, well, to get the alignment set, we need to use an adapter kit. Whole week's pay.
Holy crow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of kills your budget for hobby, eh?
It does.
Or food.
It does. It's like, oh, that's a whole week's pay right there. Then I was like, wait. Then I get the thing for the DMV, like, hey, your registration is going to be $100. Okay, that's always $100. That's fine. And we want you to get your car smogged.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear that dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
On top of that, I got a jury summons.
Oh, okay.
Same week as Kingdom Con.
Oh, so it's just right out.
So yeah, it's like, okay, that week. So it's like the Thursday. And then on top of that work, I got the Saturday off. I couldn't get the Sunday off, but that was fine. I was going to just shift trade. When you have because I have a Friday, I have Thursdays and Fridays off where I work. Today's actually my Saturday night, so this is Saturday night for me. And
place to be, Jank Tank time.
I work a mid shift, So people want those. So it's like, hey, if you work my Sunday, instead of coming in at 4 in the morning, you'd be coming in at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll work your Friday this other day. And what's good about that is I'll be the one coming in, showing up before the morning to work your shift. So that shouldn't be too hard to do. But
Get those mutuals going.
Yeah. Well, I should say, I could, and it shouldn't be too hard. But then it's like, well, I can't afford to go to Kingdom Con this year, so oh well. I got a Saturday off, so it's a lot cheaper for me to just hop on the train and visit my friends up in the Bay Area.
Yeah. So we probably should move on to our next thing here, which is where we're going to be kind of sharing a crazy list. We'll be taking turns doing this, and the first person whose turn it is to do it is actually Tin Man. So Tin Man, what's your crazy list you got for this week?
Well, my completely legit, non-crazy list here that I stand by.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm just going to load up here. Completely serious, not crazy at all. I'm telling you. You will win games with this list. I just got to load this up here.
Sounds
All
good.
right, everyone, behold, it's a Signar list starring Fast Eddie, also known as E. Dominic Darius.
Mm-hmm.
And helps if I go to armies and not card library here in War Room. But let's see here what we got. We have, of course, Captain Darius and his half-jacks.
Mm-hmm.
4 Sentinels.
All right. 4 Sentinels.
Triumph.
All right.
2 Fireflies.
Whew.
2 Gunmage Captain Adepts. 10-man unit of long gunners, no UA. And 2 Trencher chain gun crews.
2 chain gun. So you got a lot. There's a lot of shots in here.
So not only will that get you going in a tournament, might also get you laid. Right there.
That Triumph, they see it on the table like, whew, that's a big barrel. Like wins
they're gonna. Yeah, your enemy is going to shake in their boots at the sight of Triumph on the other end of the table from you. It's actually paired with Captain Darius.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got the Fireflies that with the reach, they can just run up there and block a lot of things. And then whatever kind of sneaks through slowly, you got your Sentinels and your chain guns going. You got your long gunners, so really kind of double tap on the heavies. And meanwhile, the gun mage adepts can, do their ghost shot and shoot guys on the other side.
And you can shoot at Captain Darius about 4 times, and guess what? You'll be shooting at something else.
Shield guard, shield guard, shield guard. And I mean, you don't have another out for stealth, so that's where Triumph comes in, right? If you ever got Epic Iris coming in, just done.
Not to mention the gun mage Captain Adepts there.
Yeah, that's right. They can do that too.
Sacrifice the movement, now they see stealth.
No problem. So what would you normally drop this against?
Or would I drop this against any infantry swarm? If you're in an infantry swarm meta, this will do it. Or if you just need light jacks to run up on objectives and hold them, you got that too. Light jacks are really good for that.
You got Triumph with his higher armor, right? So he's armor 20, so he's hard to take out. And then, I mean, he can take that first brunt, and then also you pop feet, fix him up. He's good to go again.
Yeah. They'll take a beating there, but those half jacks will get in the position and bring them back up.
And even if you tie him up, you can just go up with Darius and crane him out of combat. So you don't need a weapon. You just crane him out of combat, no problem.
Hey, we got any comments yet?
We got a couple here, saying Jank Tank number 1 and stuff like this and hi. I got some of the questions from before saved up.
All right, who's saying hi?
We got hi from Kenneth Van Lauren, and we're saying Jank Tank number 1 from Chance Encounter. He's usually watching the stuff.
Awesome.
Was there anything else you want to say about this list, or should I talk about my own Triumph things?
What else could be said about such a list?
Greatness. All right. Well, if you don't got anything else, maybe I'll actually say something that's going on with me with Triumph right now, but how I got myself in some deep trouble. And you probably won't believe this, but Triumph was actually banned, and we had to work to get him unbanned. So, like I said, GrotchCon is coming up here. And with this, it turned out that for that Alberta World War Machine Invitational, rather, I'm paired up against Gord Wepler. And he is pretty much one of the best, if not the best, players in Canada. So I'm in a lot of trouble. And so there are some jokes going on there about that. But we also, you know, there's a lot of podcasts in the States, not so much here in Canada. So when I heard that we have Arcane Assist and Immune to Cold, they'll both be there, I started up a little bit of a rivalry to get them together, right? So I go on the Arcane Assist page, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I hope you're scared of Immunity Cold. They're going to be there to take you on. And then all of a sudden, the TOs turn around and it's like, well, you're instigating. We're going to give you a penalty now. And so they start talking about things like I'll have to play 10 points down. But in the end, what they say is that I have to be playing with no Epic Haley, and I have to use Triumph. So I'm already against one of the best players in Canada, and now I get no Epic Haley, and I have to use Triumph. So we turn this into this big thing. I'm putting up all these jokes about Triumph and all these things. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, one of the TOs puts out the players pack and actually says that Triumph is banned. Now, I don't know if
Wait, the same TO that told you have to use Triumph turned around and said Triumph is banned?
A different TO. Because it's a team. It's a big event over here. So he puts out the players pack, and all of a sudden Triumph is banned. Now, I don't know if they were doing that as a group to try and like help me get out of this thing because they didn't really want to force me to play Triumph. Maybe they didn't feel as fair, or maybe they're just trying to have a jest with it. But here, we've been building up this Triumph thing, and all of a sudden he's banned. So actually the players had to go and be like, come on, let's unban Triumph. And yeah, probably the first time ever, Triumph was banned, and we had to actually get him unbanned. So pretty crazy, yeah. But that's what I have to look forward to on Sunday is trying to take on Gord with Triumph.
Now, why are they banning models? They ban other models?
Have they been what, sorry?
Are they banning other models?
No, it was just Triumph. So that's why, you know, it must be something to do with this where they're either trying to get me out of this challenge so that I wouldn't be feel forced into it, or they're just having fun with it, right? I don't know which way they were coming from it, but yeah, Triumph was banned for a while there. So madness.
Indeed. Welcome to the House of Fun.
Yeah. So with that, I think we can get to our questions that we had from our viewers. First one here comes from Lord Stannis Baratheon, and he asks, what are some good units and jacks to use with Striker 2? So what are your thoughts there, Tin Man?
Stormclad, Stormblades. Can't go home without them, especially with Striker.
Anything else? Well, those are your two favorites?
Two favorites off the top of my head. With Striker, Trencher Commandos take really good advantage of the Rolling Thunder feat, especially up against single wound, low defense, high armor.
Okay, yeah.
Because you can literally – I did this to a Ret player once. I ran my Trencher Commandos onto some Dawn Guard Sentinels. And he's like, why did you run them in the close combat? I'm just going to chop them up. Well, I popped my feet. Rolling Thunder kicked in. Stick. Dropped a bunch of them.
Those commandos, people should show them more respect. When I started breaking them out, that's where you start seeing Butcher 3 with all of his pikemen, and they just slaughter pikemen.
Yep.
And meantime, they have all those AoEs too, right? They can also do their AoE. So when people are dropping a lot of this infantry against me, I just walk up and lob like 20 AoEs, and they would just kill the everything. So
they say, "What? Hey, check this out! I'm going to impersonate a holy zealot."
Yeah, pretty much.
Then the other one goes, "It's my turn." And then if you got a commando you got a trencher master gunner with them, use artillerist. Bam. Oh, wait.
There's also
this only goes on one target, though. Never mind.
You can also do a thing for the unit so that the unit doesn't hurt themselves, right, with their own blasts. So all of a sudden it's like, yeah, AoE for days. I don't care if I even clip myself. You know, I go as close as possible so I know I'm hitting you. So there's some jank there. I think for myself, for Jax, my favorite Jax with Striker 2 is, yeah, the Stormcloud is great. Old Rowdy, of course, is amazing with him. As far as units go, you know, I like having the Signar stuff. Really, anything you could use. Rolling Thunder, Stormblades are great. I even like Storm Guard with him, Sword Knights. But you know what? You need something to set that up. So a lot of times I like having something like Press Gangers in the front. Even though they don't take the Rolling Thunder, they'll set it up. So they get in there deep, they muck everything up, and then you get to roll out that Rolling Thunder so that you don't really have to run up and then pop that feat. You can just charge and then go again. So I mean,
if you put Murdoch on them, then that's not an issue.
Oh yeah, and you can always do that too. I've seen that with Murdoch on Forge Guard. People like that a lot, right? And they can do a lot of damage. You could desperate paste them up too, then as well. Another thing too, I've seen a lot with Striker 2 is it almost doesn't matter what you take with him because he's your assassination caster. So you're almost just taking distractions. Take whatever you want and then just go with it.
I like charging around buildings with him.
Yeah.
I'm going to velocity here, and I'm going to charge here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then I'm going to roll those dice to see how much stronger I get. And I'm brazen. I'll roll all three of those dice. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. I mean, normally I'll take the Junior to put Arcane Shield on him just to make sure he's going to be not taking that odd damage on the way in. And yeah, 3 dice all the time. All right, next question, and I'll pause this video of me for whatever reason this is here and get to the actual right video because, you know, I'm professional and I had it loaded up and everything. Yeah. So next one is going to be coming from load coming from Ross Figure Painting, and his is, what does jank actually mean? So that's a term that's thrown around a lot. What would be your definition there, Tin Man?
What does it sound like?
Are you trying to say it's junk? Are you trying to say it's junk?
No, I'm saying, what does it sound like? Some words don't need to be defined. Simply how it sounds is its own explanation.
Yeah. I'd say my definition of jank is maybe stuff that would be considered junk, but it's usually stuff that's not your usual net list, but it's something that has that underlying value. So, I mean, like we're saying with the commandos, usually it's like, oh, commandos, they're garbage, get rid of them. But all of a sudden you find these brilliant spots for them, and that's the jank, right? That's the finding those situations where they really shine. And I love doing that. Would you agree with that? Was that about right?
What does it sound like? Yeah, really. And that's good. That's something I was going to ask you myself because I'm like, we throw the term janky around, but I was thinking, is janky in Southern California mean the same thing as janky in Canada?
I'm sure it's pretty different. Yeah.
So generally, like getting janky was always another way of saying cheesy, like war game cheesy or beardy. That's how we kind of use it around here.
Okay.
At least in the old 40K that I played in around here.
Oh, okay.
Way back in the day.
I've never thought of that where somebody would say janky and think cheesy. That's always been a separate thing, at least around here.
You're supposed to charge it a straight line, but there's a slight banana curve to that straight line.
Oh, so it was more like a cheating type thing.
Like cheating, but you that fine line, that gray area between cheating and making an honest mistake, and you can't tell.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's like, hey, I believe I'm moving this in a straight line, but I'm not actually moving this in a straight line.
See, maybe an example of mine would be more like that Striker 2 in a building again, where let's imagine that the other caster's on the other side of a building, and then you use Madeline Corbeau to move to one side, velocity up, and then charge them from the side there. Like, to me, that's like the janky, crazy stuff that I love.
Doesn't Madeline Corbeau have to be within a certain, or my
yeah,
I got her set up the paint, but I haven't played with her yet.
Yeah. Next question here comes from Ross Figure Painting again, and this one's going to be wondering if we're still going to be chatting more about Warhammer, or if it'll just be about War Machine. It'll be heavily War Machine focused. We actually just talked about this just before we started the show, that we are going to include some other things because, hey, we don't just do one thing. We enjoy other things. So we will be touching on other stuff, but I would imagine it'd be War Machine centric.
Yeah, other stuff like how awesome Daredevil is on Netflix.
I've heard so many good things about that, but I haven't seen it yet. That's probably what I'm going to do after this.
Do you have Netflix?
I do.
I hope it's on Netflix Canada, because I know different countries have different, different things available on Netflix, but it is good.
And it is on Netflix Canada, and I've heard so many good things about it from my buddies. And I don't know. It's just Daredevil.
I'll put it to you like this. Have you watched Arrow?
I watched a couple of episodes. Not very much.
Okay. After you watch Daredevil, Arrow just won't be that good of a show to you anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they do so many things right with Daredevil that they do wrong with Arrow.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Daredevil's dark and gritty, but the source material is also dark and gritty. Daredevil is a very dark comic book. But the thing is, Daredevil doesn't kill people.
No.
Now, he'll put you in the hospital. He'll put you in a situation. He'll put you in a coma. He will put you in a situation where you got to drink from you got to take all your meals through a straw for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But he doesn't kill people. Oliver Queen on the Arrow TV show, not to be confused with Oliver Queen in the comic books, he's got a body count. Now, what's the statute of limitation for murder? It's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Lately, what they've been doing to rectify that is like, oh, he doesn't kill anymore. But no, he's got a body count. I mean, literally, they could have another superhero be coming after him in that continuity. They'll be like, no. You got a body count.
So here's
stuff like that.
Well, we're talking about Dark,
but still.
Yeah.
Oliver Queen's not the Oliver Queen of that show is not a hero. In fact, the Oliver Queen of the comic books would be trying to take him down. Just saying. So
quickly about that dark and gritty, when I'm thinking about things that are dark and gritty lately, is Aquaman. Do you see that where Khal Drogo is going to be, Aquaman? How do you think that's going to roll out?
As long as he knows how to go outrageous,
yeah,
and can tell some stories, I'll be cool. But it's Zack Snyder doing this whole thing, so it's like, yeah, the same guy that had Superman break Zod's neck at the end of the movie is going to be handling this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, granted, in the comic books, he's killed Zod a few times before, but Superman's a big blue Boy Scout, and they try to make Superman dark and gritty, and Superman's not dark or gritty. He's Superman. He's the big blue Boy Scout.
Next question here comes from Christopher Murray, and it says, could you talk about some Scorn and Gator Jank? So I don't know a lot of Scorn Jank. Do you got any Scorn Jank over there?
There is a video, a really old video that I think was shot either in early 2009 on Steam Power TV.
Okay.
Where Tom was comparing. Tom from Steam Power TV has been in a bunch of my videos going all the way back, comparing Scorn casters of the time. This was back in the Mark I era.
Yeah.
To different members of the Addams family. It's literally called Battle Report Extras. You can find it on Steam Power TV. I'm surprised more people haven't watched it, because Tom's pretty funny in that.
Well, I mean, you could put the link in the description down below. And while we're talking about that, guys, I see that we have 11 viewers right now. We're covering the questions from before, but if you guys post questions, we'll cover yours too.
11 viewers?
We got 11 viewers.
Live?
Well, we're so good looking. They're just drawn to us.
It's on the Dice Rage Live. We're doing good with 3 or 4.
But now we got, like, there's so much. Like I said, this is all the good looking people right here, right? The other guys, they're holding you back. Now I'm starting trouble.
Yeah, I'll get a PM shot to me about that.
Yeah. So I don't know any score in Jank, but as far as Gators go, there's some really interesting stuff there. I mean, when you got Gators throwing other Gators and all this stuff, like having that Rise Animus is very much undervalued right now. Like that is such a good Animus, and the idea that I can just throw my caster at you and it's not a bad idea, because then he just uses the Animus to stand back up and charge your caster. I've seen that work out very well for Barnabas, because then all of a sudden he gets thrown forward. He can cast the Animus to stand back up, pop feet to knock you down, and then you're done. Like he's going to destroy you. So that's really crazy. Of course, I've seen a lot of the little assassination stuff where you have it with, again, Barnabas knocking down and then stuff can shoot you. And here's a part of Jank that I was wondering if it works, is that with Barnabas, if he makes a pool, anything that's in the pool can't be targeted, right?
Yeah, right? But the pool, you have to, you got to place that where there are no models, and then you move into the pool.
Now, does this work also for the new battle engine? Can you make that pool and then basically the battle engine runs into it and then you can't even shoot it?
Man, I never even thought about that.
Jank!
I mean, no, you know what? Let's bring up War Room right here. And let me just get, I got this new freaking case here. So
yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
Because a lot of people, they can't take it out with their little infantry. And if you can't shoot that thing either, that's a big deal. And I mean, it'd be nice to be moving up normally and not running into the water, because then you can do your shooting and stuff. But it doesn't need to. It just runs into a zone or wherever and says, your infantry can't go after me or else I'll just die. And you can't shoot me. So what are you going to do about it?
Swamp Pit. Okay, here we go. Place 5 inches, 5-inch AOE anywhere completely in this model's control area where it does not touch a model's base. The AOE is shallow water and remains in play for 1 round. While completely in the swamp pit AOE, a model with amphibious cannot be targeted by range attacks. So
it has to have amphibious.
It's gotta be an amphibious model, and I don't believe the battle engine there.
I wouldn't think so. Maybe it does.
The sacrificial vault.
Cross your fingers.
Worked. Is not an amphibian.
Oh, okay. I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, we're not in the Mark 1 area. The playtesters are pretty sharp these days.
Yeah. That's too bad. I thought it'd be pretty crazy, but I can understand why it's not. Any Gator Jank from you there, Tin Man?
I'd actually have to start playing them to figure that out.
Okay.
If you can look at stuff on paper and have a plan, and as they say, as professional prize fighters like to say, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So I haven't been punched in the face while playing Gators because I haven't played Gators yet, so I wouldn't be able to tell you from experience or even speculation.
Fair enough.
Because I could be like, well, this could happen. And then we'll get the Lex Luthor response from all the people that actually play Gators going, wrong!
Yeah. That's okay. We all learn together. We have a couple of more comments here. One from Yo Manam saying, agreeing that we are handsome and we got all the muscles, so that's why they're all coming here. We also have Canvas01 saying, that's why I always prefer Judge Dredd. Kill, 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 good fun. And as someone who has never seen any appeal in Daredevil, I have to say the show is fucking awesome. So there's another.
Yeah, Dredd 2012 was freaking awesome.
It was, yeah.
The one with Stallone, not so much.
It was still okay. It was bearable.
I just, I didn't see it in the theaters when I was a kid, but when it came out on home video, we got it on a laser disc. So I'm watching it in the living room when I was a kid. We had a big screen TV back then.
Yeah.
Laser disc player. So I'm watching it on laser disc, and I spent half the movie doing this.
Oh yeah.
And then the movie ended, and I was like, all right, well, I saw it. The only thing I enjoyed was this. No. No.
Only Stallone.
Me and my friends did that in school. We were a senior. I think we were seniors in high school when they came out.
Mm.
And a friend of ours got pulled over for riding his bike. I guess you can't really get pulled over when you're riding a bike, but they were riding their bikes on the wrong side of the street. Which, as an adult now, I know how stupid that is. But we were like high school kids. We're just like, what? Now, this particular friend, the reason he got in trouble was because the friend that he was with was mouthing off to the cops, and you don't mouth off to a cop, man.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we're just sitting there, and they're telling us about this, like, oh man, this happened to us. Oh my god, it was so much crap. This happened to us, and one of my friends goes, "You betrayed the law."
Oh yeah. I want to kind of replace that jank. Since that jank I said didn't work, here's another one that I like. Is you take the ironback spitter and you put spiny growth on them. Now, the way that those interact together is that, of course, with spiny growth, whenever a jacker beast hits you, they take D3 damage. Well, he also has his spiky back that if you ever do free strikes against him, you take D6 damage. So what I've done sometimes when I have a heavy or something in front of me that is, almost dead, and I don't know if I should be dedicating my turtle to taking it out, is I'll do that combo. They'll almost always do the free strike against you, then take D6 damage and D3, and then if they survive, I can shoot them to finish them off, and if they don't survive, I can still shoot something else. So kind of a janky way to kill somebody else when they're free striking you. So that's always a fun one.
Snapper and the spitter for that, pull that off.
Yeah,
I've got a bull snapper and a spitter. I know that when I actually get the gators together, put them in a case, and actually start playing with them, then it's like, well, I'm gonna need another spitter, and I'm gonna need like
gators are so fun.
3 more bull snappers.
So here's our next one from Savarog saying, hey there, I'm curious about getting into War Machine, and Cricks have really captured my interest. I want to struggle a bit when learning because that's how I learn best. And I have heard that some Warcasters and lists are just pure cheese. Do you know of a fun way to play Cricks while not being too unbalanced? First of all, you should not worry about being
ghost.
Yeah.
Get yourself a pirate ghost army, and then you'll meet me, and I'll be all enthusiastic to play my Italian charter pirates against your undead pirates, so we can have some Pirates of the Caribbean action going on.
That'd be great. I mean, I'd say the first thing there is don't be taking that, right? With people talking about cheese and blah, 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 every faction has their own cheese, so don't let them really be pushing that down your throat. If you like
it's like the cheese aisle. It's like the cheese aisle in the grocery store. You got some sharp cheddar, you got some mild cheddar, you got the Mexican blend for tacos, you got the pizza blend, you've got you got your fancier cheeses. You got your cheese where you scratch your head and go, is this really cheese? And this is transparent. I don't think this is cheese. You got all kinds of cheese.
Yeah.
And that's also the different factions for War Machine.
And I mean, you could go for one of the other, different lists for Cricks where you could be doing with Mortenebra with all the jacks. You could be running, basically Denegra anything. She can run whatever she wants.
Oh, Dirty D.
Yeah. And then just take whatever you want, right? Doesn't matter what it is. You can have fun with it. It'll work. And I mean, like I said, don't listen to them calling it cheese. T-Bone is watching us, and they said that he just tuned in 10 minutes ago. What are we drinking? I'm drinking Orange Pop and Sambuca. And Tin Man, are you still working on that same one there?
Same one. This is my second bottle. I'm thinking about getting up for a third one.
Attaboy. So there's that one. Next question from West is B5T. Hey there. He says, what's the best way to start with dwarves? But I know that's them. I mean, try and get the fantasy in there. But let's broaden this to say, what's the best way to start a new army? Because it's really going to be the same. Do you have any opinions on what's the best way to start a new faction there, Tin Man?
Privateer's now selling these 35-point army boxes, and what's good about those is that my experience as a press ganger, people would buy the battle box and then just not know what to buy next. And if you get the 35-point army boxes, these are actually well thought out 35-point armies. It isn't like the Battle Force boxes from 40K where it's like they give you some random stuff, but you can't really play with it yet. It is a well thought out 35-point list that you can do something with. And from there, you could get a solo here, a unit there. You can start building your collection, but still have a solid 35-point list to play. You can easily build that up to a solid 50-point list by just going, well, I'm going to get this unit here, and I'm going to grab this solo there. They're not out for all factions yet, but out for most factions. And I'd say that's a good way to go. I mean, I played a game with a new player who just had himself the 35-point Crix box with a couple of extra things, and he was well on his way to becoming a good Crix player.
Sorry.
Plus, if he's watching, he had an awesome handlebar mustache.
Oh, you know what hurts? Sambuca going up your nose.
Oh, wrong.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, I'm not tasting. Halfway through the second one, the pleasant cinnamon taste I was telling you about. Yeah, that I stopped tasting the cinnamon.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
T-Bone wrote back saying that he's drinking Guinness. That's what made me cough, because I think Guinness is disgusting, but it's not my drink.
I have had Guinness ice cream and a Guinness float. So Guinness is actually really good with vanilla ice cream.
So, sorry. My answer to that one there for how to start one, and it will go for Dwarves or War Machine, is don't be focused on all the flashy things. Be it Dwarves or be it War Machine, you see a lot of people that they'll look up what's all the best models, and they'll buy them. And they'll have a lot of characters and a lot of very specialized models, but then they'll be missing out on the core part of their army. And I mean, sure, like Death Jack is awesome, but you might want to invest and get regular Banes and your regular troops, or if you're looking at Dwarves, getting your regular Dwarves before you get all these fancy special characters, because that's the stuff you're going to be using in all your games. Whereas if you jump in there, say, I want this special character, I want this character Jack, you can get stuck into these lists that's like, well, wow, if I want to play this other stuff, he doesn't really fit in anymore. So that'd be my big suggestion, is to start with your core. Like what you said there with the War Machine, those new boxes, the Army in a Box sets, are amazing. So definitely jump on those while you can.
And have a running buddy, like a best friend that you play with all the time. Because that's like I try to get in the Relic Knights here, like I've been painting this stuff up a little bit here. But my buddies who play Relic Knights are down in LA. Mm-hmm. I need kind of a running buddy up here in Bakersfield to get kind of get into this and actually play this a little bit. So you do definitely want to have that running buddy that you can always go to the game store together with and get games in together with. Because that definitely helps.
Yeah, I heard, like they said, like find a rival. Find someone, like it doesn't need to be like, hating the other person, but find somebody about your same skill level and just keep playing. Because then you'll both get better together. You don't want to be up against somebody all the time that's way worse than you, because then you're not learning anything. If you're playing against someone who's crushing you, that's not helping you. So that's what I've heard, is find a rival about your skill set and just keep battling them.
Indeed. It's like, wow. It's like we're trading off wins. Well, you win one, and I win one, and you win one. That's that's the balance you're looking for there.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question I have from the video I put up comes from Lord17C and says, what might be the jankiest thing you have ever faced on the table? So what about yourself there? What's the jankiest thing somebody ever used against you?
That Epic Viros theme force is pretty brutal. And I was playing Circle Orbitos against them.
Yeah.
And so I've had things like Shifting Stones and Gallows Groves, which he had no intention on killing, because that was a free hit to drive up his synergy.
It's no fun.
And then the 360-degree vision advantage, where I was like, hey, I'm going to teleport this Gallows Grove right behind him and channel a spell right into his butt. Nope, he's engaged. What? Yeah. I could have done that longer, but I had a couple apple ciders. And I'm out of shape.
Well, you know. We'll work on it. That'll be a new segment of the show. But
stop eating things like cheesecake pizza.
Yeah. I think the jankiest thing that I ever faced was the first time that I faced that whole Gator throw list. So I had just been into the game, went to my first steamroller, and it was my Legion up against some Gators, and he had 2 Wrestlers, and it was a joke because one Wrestler just throws the other Wrestler like through my lines and behind it, and then just rise it back up, and then that Gator activates a heavy and is all of a sudden charging me when I thought I was behind my lines. And, you know, that really, I think that game really turned me on to Gators. Like, wow, that's awesome. And it's just something that I had no idea was even a thing, right?
And we did that first, but it was harder to pull off because we didn't have the 2-handed throw available to us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Signar. You see, with Captain Darius, you could slam a friendly thing up forward, and then he pops his feet and they stood up. Now we got the Cyclones. So Cyclone can pick something up and throw it.
Yep.
And then Darius pops his, I mean, Cray. I hope I've been saying Cray, not Darius, but Cray pops his feet and they stand up. Granted, you're doing damage to your own guys that way, but it's all about the end game.
So now, maybe now you got the Colossal, you could do that, right? You got the Stormwall that grabs one of your other jacks, hopefully something that's armored well, say like, oh, okay, so there you go. You put full throttle onto a Centurion so that now it's fast enough and it also has the armor enough to withstand it. Then you got your Stormwall that grabs the Centurion, tosses it, and then it can get back up and then charge from there.
Yeah, and don't Colossal get the like +2 inches when they throw or slam something?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's +1 or +2, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you roll 6, you just threw it 8 inches forward, and now it's full throttled. So it's like, Darius, Cray pops his feet, they get +2 inches.
Yeah.
Full throttled, and then you got that 4 points to focus on it. It's just going to be like, where I want to go.
Yeah.
You! Oh.
So there you go. There's some new jank brought up right now.
Especially for that guy that keeps his caster in the back and doesn't think anything's going to get to him, so he doesn't throw anything in the way.
Well, you don't expect the guys being thrown right through your lines, then standing back up. One of the biggest mistakes I had is I was playing Saren, and I wanted to get right up there. I was going to pop my feet saying you can't attack me. And after I was done activating Saren and moved on, I realized that I'd Saren way up the field and hadn't popped feet. It's like, oh my God, I'm dead because I'm right up there in the middle of everything. But I had this ingenious idea that my Carnivian was going to walk up to Saren and then throw her backwards to keep her safe. But it doesn't work because your beasts can't hurt your Legion casters. So I couldn't throw my own guy backwards. Oh, man. The mistakes. So that's it from questions from the last video here. We really just have about 7 more minutes before we're done the hour. Were there any other topics there that you want to cover there, Tin Man?
Well, we always talk about, of course, recommending a non-wargaming related YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'd like to recommend a channel called Glove and Boots. Glove and Boots, of course, is a puppet show that is awesome. featuring one of my favorite characters, Johnny T, who is a toad. And in fact, there's Johnny T's Guide to the Subway. And in it, there's his advice he gives for riding the subway and dealing with the smell on the subway that perfectly translates over to dealing with gamer funk at the gaming store. That is this. We cannot do anything about the smell. Some people are just going to stink. But there is something we can do it. We can make sure we're not adding to it.
All right. Yep.
So it's like, okay, you're meeting up for War Machine, but it's also Yu-Gi-Oh! Night there at the store. And y'all know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Night smells like. Don't pretend. Don't be like, well, I happen to be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player and I'm offended by what you say. No, you know better. Don't even trip. Don't even start. You know better. It may not be you, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. You thinking about them right now. They're in your head. You seeing them. You seeing their faces smiling, shuffling cards, going, you activated my trap card. Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
That guy.
You know who I'm talking about. What can you do? Not add to it. Take a shower before going down there. That's what I always do. I'm going down to the game store. Let me get my shower in so that I'm not accused of contributing to the gamer fun. Like, no, it wasn't me. I took a shower before getting here.
I'd say if I was to suggest a non-War Machine related YouTube channel, the one that I've been really into lately is called Comic Storian. So on this channel here, I don't know if you've heard about it, but basically he just keeps on covering different comics. So I always thought I was good and up on the comics, but to be honest, I haven't read any comics since like junior high. So for all this crazy stuff that's happened since, I had no idea what happened. And so through this, he just covers all the main issues and he makes it fun. He covers them like this dramatic voice and really makes a story out of it. And all of a sudden I can really catch up with, oh, okay, this is how the Darkest Night worked out for, Green Lantern or whatever, right? He does DC and Marvel. So that's been my favorite YouTube channel to kind of like non-War Machine one. But go to your puppet thing. What do you think is going to happen with this Menoth John puppet time thing? Did you hear about that?
I haven't.
So on his show, he would have it so that he wants to talk about discount games because that's who he's sponsored by. So he'd have a little model come up and, talk.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to be starting his own channel or show now just for puppet time. And I think that's going to be hilarious. I can't wait for that to start.
You remember when he does stuff like this? Hi, I'm the Arcade Wonder objective from Tim Excell's collection. I'm not finished, but I'm a Cthulhu. You know, that's an Arcade Wonder.
A pooping Cthulhu, no less.
He's just, you know what? He does look like he's on the toilet there. But,
I just ruined that model for you, didn't I?
Yeah, it butts in contact with the ground, so he could just be I think he's just man-spreading a little bit.
Could be.
Like he's just practicing for when he rides the subway, and he sees like 3 seats next to each other. So he's like, I'm gonna sit in that middle seat, spread out this one, spread out to this one, and just be like, "What? I'm Cthulhu. I'm gonna sit here just like this."
What are you gonna do about it?
What are you gonna do? Try to do something about it, you'll go crazy. I'll make you crazy. You think you crazy now? You're gonna be real crazy. People will call you crazy guy when they see you. Oh no, it's that crazy guy. That's how crazy you gonna be.
So we're coming to the end of the show here. One of the things I want to say is that as soon as this video is done, I'm actually going to be pulling it off so that I can add on an intro to an outro. I'll be going back on. And one of the fun things I want to kind of do is that for the outro, I want to be showing off your guys' stuff. So if you guys have pictures of, crazy army lists you've made or just you having fun playing, send it to me. I'm at malorian99@hotmail.com, and I'm just going to do like a compository and add those to the end for the outro and then start like removing the first ones as I start putting them in. So hopefully that should be a fun interaction thing we have going on here. But any closing thoughts from you there, Tim, man?
Got a really awesome picture of a couple of Halo Spartans playing War Machine with me.
That one's on there.
All right. Oh, and R2D2 was interested in the game. Kind of roll up to the side.
I didn't grab that one. I probably should have.
All right. Also, a picture of Groot.
Yeah, that one's on there.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, there's our first episode of Jank Tank. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, you might have seen that we're going to be probably doing most of the topics based off what you tell us you want us to talk about. So look out for those videos. They'll be out the day before, and write down and what you want us to talk about, or join in and tell us, like, hey, I'm watching right now. Talk about Minions or whatever you want. So there you go. Thanks for watching. And we'll catch you later. Bye.